Ecclesiastes 3:1, KJV. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. This verse introduces the well-known passage in Ecclesiastes 3, which poetically reflects on the different seasons of life, emphasizing that everything happens in its proper time according to God's plan. It underscores the idea of divine timing and the inevitability of change in human existence. Sarah clutched the eviction notice in her hands, her fingers trembling as she read the words over and over. She had done everything she could to keep up with the rent, worked extra shifts, sold her furniture piece by piece, but it still wasn't enough. Tears welled in her eyes as she sat on the worn-out couch, staring at the empty walls of the apartment she had once called home. How had things gone so wrong? Just a year ago, she had a stable job, a fiancé, and plans for the future. Then, one by one, everything crumbled. Her company downsized, her fiancé left, and now she was about to lose the last thing she had. Feeling hopeless, she reached for the old Bible her grandmother had left her. She hadn't opened it in years, but tonight she needed something, anything to hold on to. As she flipped through the fragile pages, her eyes landed on a verse she barely remembered but had heard once in church. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Ecclesiastes 3:1. She read it again, her heart pounding. A season, a time. Was this painful moment just a season? Could it mean that her suffering wasn't permanent? As Sarah placed a few books into a cardboard box, her phone buzzed on the nearly empty kitchen counter. She hesitated before picking it up. Lately, phone calls had only brought more bad news, but something inside her nudged her to answer. "Hello?" she said, bracing herself. "Is this Sarah Parker?" A woman's voice asked. "Yes, speaking." "This is Linda Thompson from Bright Horizons nonprofit. You applied for a position with us a few weeks ago, and I'm calling to let you know we'd love to offer you the job." Sarah froze, gripping the phone tighter. "Wait, you're serious?" Linda chuckled. "Absolutely. We were really impressed with your experience in administration and community outreach. The position comes with full benefits and a salary higher than what you were making at your previous job. Would you be interested?" Tears welled up in Sarah's eyes again, but this time they were tears of joy. She had applied for this job on a whim, not expecting to hear back. Now, when she thought everything was falling apart, a new door had opened. "Yes," she said, laughing through her tears. "Yes, I'd love to accept." "Wonderful," Linda said warmly. "We'll send over the paperwork today, and you can start next Monday." As the call ended, Sarah sank onto the couch, the eviction notice still in her other hand. But now, it didn't feel like the end of something. It felt like the beginning. She looked down at the Bible, still open in her lap, and read the verse again. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A new season had just begun. As Sarah sat on her couch, still overwhelmed by the unexpected job offer, her phone rang again. She glanced at the screen, unfamiliar with the number. For a split second, she hesitated. Could it be more bad news? But something inside her told her to answer. "Hello," she said cautiously. "Hi, is this Sarah Parker?" A cheerful voice responded. "Yes, this is she." "Hello, Miss Parker. My name is Diane Reynolds. I'm a leasing agent with Willow Creek Properties. You submitted an application for one of our rental homes a while back, and I wanted to follow up." Sarah's heart skipped a beat. She had applied to so many places but had either been denied or never heard back. "Yes, I remember," she said, barely breathing. "Well, I have great news. We have a beautiful 3-bedroom home available in a quiet, peaceful neighborhood. The previous applicant just backed out, and based on your references and application, we'd love to offer it to you. If you're still interested." Sarah's mouth fell open. "Wait, seriously? I didn't think I'd qualify with everything going on." Diane chuckled. "Actually, we ran everything again today, and with your new job offer, you meet all the requirements. The landlord is looking for someone responsible, and your application really stood out. It's move-in ready, and since we know you're on a crunch, we can waive the security deposit." Tears filled Sarah's eyes as she pressed a hand to her chest. It felt like just an hour ago, she had been drowning in hopelessness. Now, not only did she have a new job, but she had a new home waiting for her too. "Yes," she said, her voice shaking. "Yes, yes, I would love to take it." "Wonderful. I'll send over the lease agreement today, and you can pick up the keys this weekend." As the call ended, Sarah sat in stunned silence, overwhelmed by how quickly things had changed. Just hours ago, she was convinced she was losing everything. Now, she had a new job and a beautiful home. She looked down at the Bible in her lap, her eyes falling on the verse once again. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Sarah let out a deep breath and smiled. Her season of struggle was over. A new, beautiful chapter had just begun. As Sarah sat in the quiet of her nearly empty apartment, reality began to sink in. Everything had changed in a matter of hours. A new job, a beautiful home, a fresh start. Just that morning, she had been convinced she was losing everything. But now, she saw the truth. She had spent so much time trying to fix things on her own, scrambling to hold on to the past, stressing over what she couldn't control. She had been so focused on her struggles that she hadn't stopped to trust that maybe, just maybe, God was working things out behind the scenes. She looked down at her Bible, still open to Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Tears welled in her eyes. All this time she had been fighting against change, thinking she had to do everything herself. She had feared that losing her old job and her old life meant she was being abandoned. But now she saw it. God hadn't been taking things away to punish her. He had been making room for something better. She closed her eyes, feeling a peace she hadn't felt in a long time. God, I'm sorry, she whispered. I was so afraid. I didn't trust you, but you had a plan all along. For the first time, Sarah realized that faith wasn't just about believing when things were easy. It was about trusting in God's timing, even when life felt like it was falling apart. She had been so busy trying to control everything that she had forgotten to simply let go and trust Him. Now she saw it clearly. This new job, this new home, this fresh start, it had all been part of His plan. She had been worried about losing her old life when God was preparing her for something greater. Wiping her tears, she whispered, "Thank you, Lord." With renewed strength, she stood up and picked up her box. This time, she wasn't packing out of fear. She was stepping forward in faith, ready for the season God had prepared for her. Because now she knew His timing was always perfect.